What's up, everybody? It's Shannon Gross, host of Hanging with the Boys on DallasCowboys.com. And we're going to chat a little bit with our guy, Justin March,
Sir.
linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, special teams guy.
Oh, yeah.
What do we call you, man? You do so many different things on the team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. Play linebacker, contribute on special teams, try to do everything I can to, be the right teammate, right kind of guy to go out there and, be held accountable and to be trustworthy out there.
And you've been around a while, man. How long you been on the squad now?
I want to say this will be my fourth year. Yeah, so about 3.5 because I got here about halfway through the season, 2017. So yeah, about 3.5.
Okay, and you've kind of you've been a few places. Take us through your career, kind of from the beginning to where you're at now.
Yeah, so I went undrafted to Kansas City. I was there for a couple of years. My first year, my rookie year, I had a microfracture surgery. So that name, that term might ring bells. Tough surgery to kind of deal with. End up bouncing back. End up starting my second year in Kansas City. Started for I want to say 5 games, and then broke my hand against the Raiders. Got put on IR, and then designated to return and brought me back. We lost against the Steelers in the playoffs. I'm going to another year starting that off season. We get a new general manager. They make 2 trades for linebackers, kind of put me on the outskirts. So end up going from there to Miami. The Dolphins claimed me off waivers. So I was out there for, I want to say 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Hurricane was happening, that type of stuff. And they were like, hey, well, due to some roster stuff, we want to put you on practice squad, pay you active salary for a week, and then just kind of bring you back up after that. In order to do that, they had to release me. So they released me, got claimed by Seattle. So I went from there to Seattle. And this was all during one season. Then I ended up playing in Seattle for a week, out there another week. My little brother had passed away that first game. So I was we had his funeral that following week. So we're like, hey, we signed a guy to fill our roster spot. He ended up breaking his hand, so we still need to bring a D lineman up, and you can go back home, be with your family. We'll bring you back, and then just kind of at that point, I had a few other offers. One being the Cowboys, and the Cowboys said put in a claim for me from Kansas City. So I knew they kind of wanted me. I want to say Chicago. Chicago was another team. They had lost a lot of linebackers that year, so it was between there and then the Dolphins wanted to sign me back, and I guess it was I wouldn't say a little spider or anything like that, but I knew that the Dolphins had claimed me. They won that claim, but I knew the Cowboys had put in a claim that year as well. So I was like, hey, why not? Why not go play for America's team and to kind of rekindle my career. And I feel like I've done that just in a different aspect, a different role. Going from being a starter and playing and being that kind of player to now you have to be a role player. You have to figure out how you can help the team on special teams, that kind of stuff. Be a backup, somebody that can come in and play at a high level and do some good things out there. So I've been here since.
Yeah. How's that mentally going from thinking, hey, I'm starting, I'm the starting guy, to hey, I'm just here for the team and wherever you guys can let me fit in. How do you mentally prepare yourself? Because it's 2 completely different mindsets, I would kind of think, right?
Yeah, it is. So for me, I kind of went through something similar in high school. Not to that extent, but my junior year I was all-state running back. So and I played linebacker as well. And the coach comes up to me, he's like, hey, we need a tight end. We don't have anyone to block. So I'm like, man, I'm an all-state running back. I should be out there and playing running back and stuff like that. But I knew that in order for the team to succeed and stuff like that, I could help fill that role, and I did that in high school. And just that's a different world. But then being in NFL and starting and then having to switch my whole mentality to become a special teams guy. I didn't really play special teams in college. I started my 4th game as a true freshman. So I really didn't play special teams until I I was on the border in Kansas City, and the special teams coach was like, "Hey, if you want to, have a long career, this is you need to embrace this. You need to become one of these guys." And me, I love football, so any opportunity I can get to go out there and hit somebody, run around, have fun, and then on top of that to win. That's the most important thing to me is being able to contribute just in anything in life, and then also being able to win. So it was definitely a tough transition, but one that was worth it. One that I'll never regret. I mean, I'm doing what I love, and I get to do it every day with some great guys.
Yeah. Have you talked to any of the new coaches? Anybody on the staff? Y'all been
Oh
able to?
yeah, yeah. So I'm one of the guys who I kind of stick around, in the off season, and I train at the facility up there, and stuff like that. So I'm always kind of around, um, you know. So I've been able to run into some of the coaches, when they first got here. Obviously, Coach Bones, talk to him, all the time and stuff like that. So, yeah, so I got to talk to a lot of them.
Yeah, it sounds like from the meetings that we've had with them and the stuff that they've kind of set out in other media outlets, sounds like they're going to just put the best guys available on the field, regardless of scheme or anything like that. Just get your best talent on the field
Right.
at one time. Is that kind of what they've told you guys as well?
So we really haven't went into depth about that. But from what we do know, we know that they love guys who love football, because they love their jobs, they love coaching, they love the game. So we all do know that they love those kind of guys who love football, who are passionate about winning, and who bring the right character and that type of stuff to the team. So I think it's a little bit of that. They want guys that are the best at what they do, go out there, compete at a high level, and that love football.
Yeah. When it's when you have a coaching staff that's been around as long as kind
Right.
of old regime was, like, I've been around for 16 years, and that was for most part of my career. That was the old coaching staff, and it's kind of weird for us that you don't know who's coming in, you don't know how they're going to interact with the staff and things like that. Is it weird for you guys, or is it just another day at the office where you just show up and you do what you're asked to do, or is it kind of weird, that transition of a whole new staff, a whole new way of doing things? Is it different for a player?
Yeah, it's like kind of like a fresh start for everyone. So for some people who might not have had the greatest impression on the last coaching staff, that wanted a fresh start just from a fresh mental state to be able to go out there and compete, and stuff like that. It definitely is, I would say, weird, adjusting to that. I went through a coaching change in college, so I was kind of used to, that whole fresh fresh air, I guess. But I would say definitely for most guys, it's kind of what we've always been around. We know that our jobs are on the line just about each and every day. So adjusting to change is what we have to do all the time. So I think it's a good change. I think most of the guys that I've talked to love the move. They love having the new coaches. From all the guys that I have talked to, their coaches that I've talked to, they love it. They're excited about it. Everyone's, with everything going on, everyone's, super, super excited to get back to, our normal life, and to get around the coaches. And like I said, we all know they love football. We love football. So just wanting to get back to that will be good.
Yeah, got a couple of new guys, some big guys that are going to be in front of you this year. They signed McCoy, they signed Poe, Alden Smith's in the mix now. Do you know any of those guys, or have you talked to any of those guys, or do you know anything about them?
Yeah, so Poe was actually in Kansas City when I was there. So when I was starting, he was in front of me. So I know what he brings to the table. Obviously, McCoy, we all know he's a great player. Alden Smith, we know how fast he is and how much production he's had in his career. And then you sprinkle all that in with the current guys we have. I think it's awesome. I mean, Antoine Woods is a beast. I mean, I think whenever he's on the field in general, it's definitely a big statement. He kind of changes the feel of the game. So being able to add McCoy and Poe to that interior mix, I think it's great. Then you got Big Ty Crawford. I mean, the dude's a monster. That's my guy. I mean, he can play anywhere on that line. Obviously, you got D-Law, you got all the other guys. So just being able to throw those kind of guys in the mix, I think it'll be good for us.
With you playing with Poe and obviously practicing with him in Kansas City, what are we getting in that guy on the field and off the field?
Yeah, Poe, he's definitely he's super dedicated, to what he does. He loves football. He loves competing. I don't think I've ever seen him upset or anything like that outside of football, outside of practice, anything like that. I mean, he has a great spirit to him. And then on top of that, he's dominant. I mean, you're gonna have to block him with two guys. I mean, he takes up that space, and he really doesn't move. From what I've had experience with him. And then, like I said, he's a great guy, great family guy, has a great spirit to him. And then he has a different edge to him when he's out there playing a game. So I think you're gonna get somebody who works hard, who's gonna come in, be dedicated. He's gonna play his role at a high level, whatever that is, whatever they have planned for him. He's going to be productive, and then on top of that, you're going to love what you see off the field. Just in the type of guy he is. I'm sure you guys will see that once he talks to the media and stuff like that.
Speaking of off the field, we've all had a little bit of extra time on our hands the last month or so with kind of being on lockdown, not being able to be in the facility, right, being able to, the normal routine this time of year. So I've seen on social media you've got to spend a little bit more time with your little guy.
Oh yeah.
What have you guys been doing around the house? Y'all been hanging out and doing guy stuff?
I mean, we've been doing just about everything. He's definitely a boy's boy. So I mean, he loves running around. He loves throwing stuff. He loves just being kind of reckless. So getting to be around this stage, around the house more, I think is pretty cool for the both of us. I mean, he's at that explorative age where he wants to see if he can jump off of something or anything like that. He's a little daredevil. So I think just being able to be around and see him grow and see him, his I guess his toddler boy stage kind of come alive. It's been awesome. So we'll play outside. We'll go for walks. He'll throw rocks, in a pond back here. So just that in general has been fun. As a father, being able to wake up with him. Just talking to him, the things that he thinks about is it's kind of funny. He watches his shows. He remembers just about everything. So you can't get over on it. If I tell him, hey, I'm gonna play with you and wake up and we'll do this. He wakes up and he's like, okay, ready to play now. So it's kind of like, but it is fun. Just playing football, I'm never really here in the morning. So being able to be a part of his morning routine, which is my morning routine now. So I think that's great.
How old is he now?
He's 2.5. He'll be 3 in July.
What's his name?
His name is Jackson.
Jackson. So you plan on having about 10 more of those, or you done?
So we have a little girl. She's 4 months. Her name's Raya. We just had her back in January.
And, congratulations. That's all.
Oh yeah, thank you. So it's two different speeds. She's a lot more chill, relaxed, and he's just in this toddler, reckless boy stage. So I'm able to be around him. My wife's able to take care of the baby. And then it's been great. We're still kind of undecided on exactly how many more we want. But I will say my son Jax, he's definitely 2 kids in one. So that kind of takes off at least one kid for sure.
What is your daily routine now? So walk us through a day, because obviously you can't be around the other guys like you normally would this time of year doing voluntary stuff and things right, like that. You get up and kind of walk us through what you do to stay in shape. Are you looking at film? Are you doing anything like that? Just tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, so kind of like my daily routine. Like I said, I wake up with my son. My wife might be up feeding the baby and stuff throughout the night. So me and Jax will get up, and the first thing he wants some water. He wants some type of electrolyte drink or something like that to kind of wake him up. And I'll take my super green smoothie. So I'll do that. We'll sit on the couch. He'll watch Toy Story, or he'll watch some type of show. We'll just kind of lay there for about an hour and a half, and then when my wife comes out, she'll make breakfast. We'll eat, and then from there it's kind of like I go off and I have a rowing machine. So I've been kind of experimenting with that since we're able not to be able to go into facilities and work out and stuff like that. So I usually get into my rowing machine, stuff like that, do some warm up type stuff, and then I've just been kind of doing what I can. So there's a field over in the neighborhood. I'll go out there and do some running. There's a hill that's kind of attached to that field over there, so I'll run some hills. After that, I'm doing push-ups, stuff like that, and then later on in the day we have the mirror, which is kind of like this virtual workout, but we use it for yoga. So just working on my flexibility. Obviously, we're not able to do a lot of that stuff that's kind of required to stay, I guess, injury free, just because we don't really have access to all that type of equipment and that heavy workload. So the best thing that just some people had told me, some of my old mentors and stuff, was if you stay flexible and stuff like that, that's kind of how you prevent the injuries. So do a lot of yoga, that kind of stuff, and then from there, if there's something that the coaches want us to look at or anything like that, which really haven't been able to do much. But I've kind of been doing some self scouting of my old special teams tape and things that I could have done better. Been watching some tackling tape on how to have more ball production and stuff like that. So I think that's been cool to be able to watch that and how to create turnovers and that kind of stuff with some of the best special team guys in the league. So that's kind of how I do it. And then we'll have dinner, and then you have pretty much everything that everybody else is doing, trying to figure out, a routine. But I think every day that's kind of like the morning / afternoon, and then later on at night is just kind of like if there's if I want to do some extra cardio, I'll get back on the rowing machine. I'll go for a nice jog around the neighborhood, that kind of stuff. I do have some weight equipment coming in this week, so being able to get a squat rack and that kind of stuff, set up my own home gym this week. That'll be more of my routine. So.
Have you picked up any habits, like any snacks that you normally don't eat that you're like, man, I just can't stay away from that now?
Yeah, you know what? So hold on. You mind if I grab them real quick?
No, get it.
I'll show,
Awesome.
yeah, I'll show you real quick. Hold on. So I try to keep it healthy, but these right here, there's some plant-based cookies, and I really just can't stay away from them. They kind of sit right here by my workstation and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I've been trying to stay away from. They are plant-based. The fudge stripe cookies. That's kind of like my new snack deal, I guess. It's not too heavy, but it definitely is tough being around all these snacks and food. And my son, everything he eats, he wants me to eat. So I'm trying to, I'll like fake put something in my mouth, put it in my pocket, do that kind of stuff.
You played in Kansas City, and then you had a couple of guys that were your guys in Hitchens and Damian Wilson won a championship this year.
Yeah.
You talked to any of the guys after that?
Yeah, I talk to those guys all the time, as well as some of the guys that I was there with. Kind of congratulate those guys. So yeah, I've talked to them, and they're super happy. I'm super happy for those guys. They earned it. Hitch and Damian, I mean, they work extremely hard. During the season and off season. I train with some of these guys in the off season, so I know exactly how hard they work and the time they put into it, and definitely happy for those guys.
Yeah. So what are you expecting from yourself this year? What does success for you look like? What kind of, I guess, expectations are you putting on yourself for the season?
Yeah, so I want to have just being able to play behind Coach Bones and stuff like that. I want to have a Pro Bowl type special teams year for sure. So that with that comes, ball production. I want to be able to have some big hits on kickoff and get the ball out. So a lot more ball production, a lot more, I want to be in situations to block punts and kind of change the game in that realm. I feel like if you look at some of the best teams, Patriots, Titans, those kind of teams, that's what they had. They had ball production on special teams, and I feel like we didn't have any last year. So being able to be that guy or one of those guys, we have a lot of great talent on the team's unit. So being able to do that will be big for me personally. Like I said, I want to have a Pro Bowl caliber year, and then also be able to contribute on defense wherever that may be. If there's any type of packages or anything like that, just being able to contribute, make some plays, and stuff like that. So for me personally, like I said, I want to make the Pro Bowl this year on special teams, and then also want to be, one of those guys that can come in and play on defense.
Yeah, you keep bringing up ball production, and I know in the media and the people that don't play the game on the field, there's a big debate on whether can you coach turnovers, can you coach interceptions, can you coach ball production. Do you think you can coach that, or is that just something that happens? Is that something that players have to make happen? Is that something that you
Yeah.
better at?
So yeah, so I feel like I feel like it's definitely coachable, and I feel like a lot of that has to come with technique, but more so mindset and mentality. Um, just because getting the ball out is definitely more of a mindset, and then it's also a little bit of luck to it, also a little bit of craftiness to it. So I feel like it's all about repetition and how much work you kind of put into it, and the visual state of mind is critical. And that's why I've been watching so much tape on turnovers, and it's not just on special teams, but all in the entire NFL. Seeing how guys get the ball out, seeing their entry angles, and seeing when they're punching at the ball. There's times where running backs go to brace for the ground, or ball carriers go to brace for the ground, and the ball is exposed. So being able to punch that, but like I said, it's all a mindset, and I think that's something that definitely can be coached. And when I was in Seattle a short time, and they did so much about ball, just the ball production of it and turnovers and stuff like that. And you go out there and you see it come to fruition, and that's just because they've repped it so much. It's in their head so much. It's in their DNA that they want to get the ball out. So I feel like with this staff is definitely big for them, and that's what they want. They want the ball. They want to be able to protect the ball on offense, but then they want to be able to get the ball on defense and special teams. And I feel like if you look at Coach Foster, I mean, that's all he's done in his career is, get punts blocked and stuff like that. So that's definitely something that you can coach, but it's also something that you have to do on your own, and you have to put in the time watching the film, understanding the game, and then when you go out there, you have to make it come alive by putting yourself in the right situations, and a lot of that, you expect your coach to put you in some situations, but then when you're out there, you have to put yourself in the right situations where you're coming in attack or anything like that.
The drafts this week, obviously. Do you watch the draft, or do you just kind of casually keep up with it? How do you kind of?
Yeah, so I'll keep up with it and stuff like that. But I've always kind of watched it when it's been on TV. I just like seeing some of those guys' dreams come true. I like seeing the reactions from the families and stuff like that. I think that's awesome. I think that whenever you have something that's life changing, it's definitely worth watching. So some of these guys come in at 20 years old, 21 years old, and their entire um, dream has come true. So I just love seeing that.
Yeah. Is there any position that you want to see the team go after, or you just whoever they get them in
Yeah,
here? Let's
yeah,
go.
just whoever they get. I mean, you got some of the best scouting guys, in NFL. So they're gonna get something that they want, they need, and something that's gonna help us succeed.
Yeah. And I see you're sitting. Is that a gaming chair you're sitting in?
Yeah, yeah. This is my little gaming chair, my
What
little
do you
swivel
game? You
chair.
game?
Yeah, so I'll play some Madden, I'll play some 2K. Jay Lou plays a lot of 2K. I haven't played against him this year. We used to play last year against each other, him and Cheeto, and some of the bigger trash talkers I've ever been around on a game for sure. But it's always fun. I'm not really big of Call of Duty, kind of like Ty Crawford and those guys. So
Yeah.
more like sporting games for sure.
Yeah. They used to be big in PUBG. Are they over to Call of Duty now?
Yeah, well, like I think Twan's still on PUBG, and Ty, I think he runs PUBG, Call of Duty, stuff like that.
Okay. So whenever the Cowboys start a Twitch channel, you're saying we need to get you, Cheeto, and J. Lou on there talking some trash, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
All right, we're gonna sign you up. As soon as we start a channel, we'll go
Oh
get
yeah,
y'all on
let's
there
do it.
first.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you get back to your kids.
Sure.
Just catch up with you, see what you've been up to. If we're under lockdown too much longer, we may get you to give us a virtual tour of the crib, or maybe
Oh,
the
yeah, I
field where
got
you're
you.
working out,
I
all that stuff. So
got you.
appreciate you taking the time, man. Tell the
Sure,
family
no
we
problem.
said hey, and hopefully
Do
we're
it.
all back in the building soon.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. You bet. Appreciate it.
All right, see you. Have a good one.
All right, later.